This is the 12 match races of Christmas, where us, the Triple Clowns, present to you some dream matchups. We are constantly working on original and I think groundbreaking horse racing shows that are informative and also, at the end of the day, fun, guys. So hit that like, subscribe button, and that notification bell. Also follow us on Twitter at Clowns Triple and all other social media platforms, because we are going to bring you new shows. That's right, new shows that include horse racing conspiracies and odd stories, handicapping 101. We're going to do live picks from the track, and of course, our show where we interview great guests and we do some horse racing skits that are a good time. Support us so we can keep going, trailblazing in the horse racing industry. From AJ Ryder, Sarah Marie, and of course, myself, G. Randall Johnson. Happy holidays, and let's get it on with the 12 match races of Christmas. All right, everybody, and it's another match of the 12 great match races of Christmas. And you guys can see him right now. He is a friend of the Triple Clowns. He's a friend of everybody out there. Let's give a big salute to Nick, the Sarge, Hines.
Okay, hot. Happy holidays. Ho, ho, ho. I couldn't find my Santa suit this morning. Sorry.
The dry cleaners.
It's quite all right. Sarge, we're always happy to have you on here. And, you know, we do a lot of stuff with Sarge. And this is one that we knew would be fun. And he got a matchup that is intriguing. And we have these normal matchups that everybody's going to want to talk about. And we have these other matchups that I think are really cool matchups to talk about. Mm-hmm. And I think this is one of them. And in the red corner, hailing from Florida with an incredible record of 38 starts, 18 wins, 10 seconds, 6 thirds. His major wins include the Bluegrass Stakes, Woodbine, the Haskell, Ohio Derby, the Breeders' Cup Classic, Jockey Gold Cup, Massachusetts Handicap, Pimlico Special, Woodward Stakes, Hollywood Gold Cup, Gulfstream Park Handicap, the Don Handicap. He is your 1998 Horse of the Year, Skip Away. And in the blue corner, hailing from Kentucky, with an incredible record of 19 starts, 12 wins, 3 seconds, and 2 thirds. His major wins include the Risen Star Stakes, the Louisiana Derby, Matt Wynn Stakes, Clark Handicap, Razorback Handicap, Stephen Foster Handicap, Whitney Handicap, Woodward Stakes, Pegasus World Cup, and Breeders' Cup Classic. This is your 2017 American Horse of the Year, Gun Runner. And this is one of them we're actually going to go in the match race format at 1.25 miles on the dirt. How many degrees is it out today?
Perfect condition.
Perfect condition. 72, sunny. Everything's good.
They're on crazy. It's 22 where I'm at right now.
Not where you are, AJ.
We're not racing in Illinois.
We're not racing in Illinois today. All right, so we're going to go with that. And Sarge, here are the rules for everybody out there. Don't know the rules, and for you, Sarge. Here they are.
All right. Well, our contest consists of 3 rounds. The first round, each contestant in our show will have an opportunity to present their opening argument. Each opening argument will be limited to 1 minute only. The second round is the Q&A with the judges. Each judges will get an opportunity to ask each contestant as many questions about each horse as they'd like. There is no time limit on this round. The final round consists of a free-for-all battle royale lasting 1 minute 30 seconds, where each contestant goes back and forth presenting their argument, and well, we'll just see what happens then. So, and at the end of the 3 rounds, the remaining 2 judges will then confer and decide our winner.
Now, Sarge, here's the big question that everybody has to face, and we don't know this. I stress this every time. We do not know, and we don't look at each other's notes or anything like that. I can look at Sarah's right now, but we don't know, and this is where it comes down to, Sarge, you need to pick one of the clowns to argue against, and the other 2 clowns will be judging. So, Sarge, which clown would you like to go against?
I'm going to go against you, Randy.
Woo!
Yeah. Okay.
I love this.
All right.
Yes.
Let me get. I was gonna throw that out there. Oh my God! Now you just stole my thunder, Sarge. You can't see me. All right.
Let's
So
do it.
At this stage, I'm just gonna say Sarge won.
All right, yeah. Let me get ready. I wasn't expecting this. I really
Hoorah.
wasn't. I thought he was gonna go. I thought he was gonna go AJ WWE style. But he's.
You can't make
But
assumptions.
listen, hey, Sarge is somebody that's gonna pick the best. Let's face it.
Oh,
No,
please.
obviously that's me.
Yeah.
So let's go. AJ's I'm
I'm gonna pick the best to lose. That's all.
Well, either way, it's the best, Sarge.
You're the
Well,
weakest
Randy,
link.
Randy,
You're the weakest link.
Randy, in his only attempt at this so far was decimated.
I was
Oh,
definitely.
completely.
Not my fault.
So-
Not my fault. I went against a lawyer, and
And he got attorneyed.
Yeah, I
hard.
did get attorneyed by
Yep.
blackjack.
It was pretty
Uh,
sad.
Yep. Anyway, all right. No, let me get shot here. Let me listen up a little bit. Sarge, you want to go first, or do you want me to go first?
I'll let you go first.
All
All right,
That's
AJ,
always
we
that,
got
isn't
you
it?
on the clock.
Bam. All right, Randy, your opening argument. Are you ready?
Yes.
All right, your time begins now.
All right. Let's talk about Gun Runner. This Chestnut Beach beast out of Candy Ride. Well, just remember Candy Ride, not a bad horse there. And for a moment in time, I will tell you this. A moment in time, this horse was one of the best horses I've ever seen. Small moment in time, but it was a moment. So let's talk about it. As a 3-year-old, 4 for 9. Okay, that's fine. Against horses you may have heard of, Sarge. I know you have. Nyquist, Exaggerator, Arrogant. We know this. Yeah, third in the Derby. Okay, let's throw that out. Let's talk about his 4-year-old year when we get to this. All right. He lost in Dubai on one of the greatest races I've ever seen in my life by a horse, and that's Arrogant. After that, something happened there. He got kicked in 4 straight grade 1s after that. Now, the Classic runs a 117 buyers. Let's talk about this Classic because this was amazing. Now, we can say lone speed because he might be the lone speed. Even in this race against Skipaway, Sarge, I think he might be the lone speed. He's not catching him around the first turn. We're going to go into that. And I think at this point, he went against, by the way, in the Classic, Arrogant, Pacific Classic winner Collected, Travers winner West Coast. This was a good field that he wasn't going to turn down. This might have been a mile and an eighth guy. I know that. I know that's coming up. But for some reason, at this moment in time, he didn't turn people away after that mile and an eighth. And then he goes back, and what's he do? Oh, shit. I missed it.
No, you can finish your thought. You can finish your thought.
I can. All right. So he goes back and wins the Pegasus on his last one. Yeah, maybe it's more his form, but I don't think. Yeah, go ahead. I can't
All
say
right.
it.
Well, when you call time, you finish what you're saying. You don't have to stop.
Finish the sentence,
All right.
but one sentence, not like a
Okay.
random sentence.
I got it, guys. Thanks. All right.
That's what I've been doing for everything anyway.
I see Sarge just smirking, shaking his head at my
I know.
comment.
I love it.
Randy, you put yourself in a position where you're setting yourself up for defeat. That's all.
Ooh.
I did that when I came on the show.
You sound nervous. You're on defense when you should be playing offense.
Well, when I read these horses,
All right.
yeah.
All right. Well, Sarge, you can tell us all about it. Your time begins now.
All right. A horse that I'm going to represent today is Skipaway, the late great Skipaway. I often get confused with the trainer, Sonny Hines, because my last name is Hines, but my last name has an S. His did not. But one of the true all-time great stories in a horse's career, a horse whose career began back in August of 1995, a career that evolved on through November of 1998. I was fortunate enough to have seen Skipaway compete at Hollywood Park, and what a day that was, having been there for that Breeders' Cup Classic. 10 Grade 1 victories, sustained excellence over multiple seasons, and when you look at his losses as a general rule, they were against much better horses. But let's talk about one of his best victories over Cigar in the 1996 Jockey Club Gold Cup, a race in which, was one for the ages. Well, I'm sure you've heard of Cigar, but when you look at his body of work, considering the fact that in the years in which he competed, from 38 career starts, 18 wins, earned over $9.6 million, having won 10 Grade 1s, and a horse that rattled off, 8 straight victories between 1997 through 1998, and then some closing out with the Woodward. Skipaway is far and away a better horse, considering the fact that he's also the classic horse. When you talk about the classic distance, and you compare that to the likes of Gun Runner, okay, obviously a horse who had some success at the mile and a quarter distance, 1 for 4, but Skipaway.
Time, Sarge, finish your thought.
Did it. And Skipaway won over a wet track, which is something the gun runner could not do in multiple tries.
Ooh, good one. Okay.
Finished that well.
Yeah, that was a good mic drop. There.
Okay. All right. Take my notes real quick. Go ahead. Now, you guys can do your cross-examination of the.
All right. So, I'll start, I guess.
I thought you were starting.
Yeah, well, I started. So, Sarge, when you look at the matchup, because remember, we are talking about who would win a match race. You know, you look at Skip Away. Skip Away's winning percentage over his career, 47% to Gunrunner 63. Gunrunner never finished worse than 5th. Skip Away did finish 12th at the Derby. Sarge, I just want to know your thoughts going into that when you look at what may be more of a consistent horse. Your thoughts.
All right, so let's talk about a span of a 38 race career, and it's interesting that you pointed out the Derby, but you look at Gunrunner. He had only one attempt at the Triple Crown. He raced in the Kentucky Derby. Yeah, true. The fact
Doesn't
that
everyone only have one attempt at the Triple Crown?
One race.
Right, Gunrunner did. Gunrunner finished third. He finished third in the Kentucky Derby. That was it. Skip Away ran in all 3 legs of the Triple Crown.
Okay.
And in addition to the fact that the only time that he finished off the board, for all intents and purposes, there were 3 times. In fact, it was in his debut, Skip Away, the other time in which he bled, and in the Kentucky Derby. Outside of that, he had always been on the board, and I'm classifying a 4th place finish as being on the board as well.
All right.
Some really good points.
That cleared that up really well. That was
Yeah, that did, especially when
I
you.
figure you set him up for that.
Randy. That was a point you might have been in your favor until just now.
Because I knew what that was. Go ahead.
Well,
Go ahead. Anybody?
Yeah. Okay. I didn't know about. I do.
well, no. I asked one. I figured we'd go back and forth.
Okay. So you both had talked about competition. Sarge brought up Cigar and the Haskell, and you brought up Nyquist, Exaggerator, and Arrogant.
It was actually Cigar in the Jockey Club Gold Cup.
Excuse me, yep, and the
Go ahead.
Jockey Gold Club. How would you compare, I guess, just the competition alone? Let's just do Cigar versus Arrogant.
Arrogant. Oh, Cigar versus Arrogant. Oh, well, that's a
Yeah.
whole.
So we're saying Skip Away defeated Cigar, breaking Cigar's undefeated streak.
Can I not answer this
That's a good
question
question.
right away and go to? I'm going to go to this. I'm not going to go to Cigar. That's a tough one because Cigar on a great day, Arrogant on a great day. Arrogant when he looked his best, I think might beat Cigar at his best. You know what I mean? But Cigar was more obviously consistent with it and everything like that. I'm going to bring up a horse though. When you say that, is I guess Skip Away's big competition, as in Gun Runners would have been Arrogate. Let's just say Formal Gold, I believe. So if you want to compare Formal Gold to Arrogate, that's your better argument. And Formal Gold owned Skip Away. Right? I think
that's one particular horse, and you're talking about horse for horse argument, and we're going to go back to the idea that can you tell me on the cuff here how many races Arrogate had and how many races Formal Gold had in his career?
Arrogate had 19, I believe.
No.
Are you sure?
Arrogate did
no,
have
not
19
Arrogate.
starts.
You're
No,
talking about Gun Runner had 19.
Oh, okay.
We're talking-
Arrogate
Arrogate
had
had
11
races. I was going to say
races.
10 or
11,
races.
11.
Formal
7
Gold
more.
had much more. Yes, and it was much more of they raced 6
So
times.
are you trying to argue the point that Formal Gold wasn't much of a racehorse? I mean,
No.
after all-
I said it comes down to if you think Formal Gold was a better opponent than
Formal Gold was
Arrogate.
0 for 4 at the classic distance. This argument that we're having right now
Ooh.
is based on a classic distance of 1.25 miles.
Mhm.
So when you talk about the efforts that Formal Gold had versus Skip Away, they were not at 1.25 miles. Skip Away is the epitome of what a classic racehorse would be at the 1.25 mile distance. Added the fact that Skip Away was able to carry his career through countless seasons. Here's a horse that raced 38 times over a span of dating back to his 2-year-old season on through his 5-year-old year. And a horse that had one of the most amazing runs on into 1998 when, unfortunately, you had a horse by the name of Favorite Trick who was looked to have been, that horse that particular year. But you look at the season that he had back in 1997 when Favorite Trick won the Horse of the Year as a 2-year-old. You compare the notes and you look at Skip Away, what he accomplished that year. Thankfully, Skip Away came back. He's a 2-time winning older handicap horse. Obviously got the Horse of the Year in 98 for good reason. Well and deserved it. But he probably should have got a Horse of the Year in 1997 as well. How many years did Gunrunner win the Horse of the Year? How many?
He did 2000 once.
Thank you.
2017. But, okay, but this is the back and forth. You guys
Yeah. AJ.
Well, I guess my next one, and I guess either one of you can chime in on this one, but obviously we're numbers people in this game, and Gunrunner did have a higher all-time time form figure than Skip Away did with a 142 at the Woodward, I believe. Sarge, your thoughts that the horse you're defending on paper never hit that same mark.
All right. I want you to pull up the field when you get an opportunity for the Woodward that particular year that Gunrunner beat. The runner-up was a horse by the name of Rally Cry. Rally Cry never even won a graded stakes race. The third-place finisher, Neolithic, was a twice-other-than allowance horse that was lucky to have been anywhere near stakes place. He also beat up on a tired War Story that year. All right. You want me to continue to go here? You want me to continue to go on? When
It's your time. You can do whatever you want.
Skip Away. For example, when he won the Woodward the year he won it, and to close out his career, he beat a horse by the name of Gentleman. Gentleman won 3 straight Grade 1 races. If you ever have an opportunity to talk to Gary Stevens, he'll tell you all you need to know about Gentleman. Running Stag, Freehouse, the list goes on. So when you're trying to compare a time form rating in a particular race, you called up the Woodward. Come on. You talk horse for horse. You talk about field for field. No comparison.
All right. Any more questions before we go?
No.
All right.
I think.
Well, I will say one last one. This is a match race, and I think I've asked this every time I've been a judge. In mano y mano, we go 1.25 miles, and this is for each of you. What is the scenario that plays out where your horse wins, as far as pace, as far as everything?
Well,
All right. I need to make this comment. Okay. Because you keep bringing up the point that we're going mano y mano. We're talking about the classic distance.
Mm-hmm.
You do realize that Gunrunner had only gone the classic distance 4 times, and he was 1 for 4 at the distance. He was 6 for 8 at 1.8 miles. Skip Away in his career at 1.25 miles, he was 6 for 11. And Skip Away had not only won over a fast track, he won over a wet track. You look at Gunrunner, he couldn't stand up over the wet. You talk about the elements. AJ, you're in 22-degree weather. Skip Away could run on anything, including broken glass. He was an ultimate throwback. He's the ultimate horse of a lifetime, whereas Gunrunner simply is not. He was a fantastic racehorse. I think if you were to compare Gunrunner to Arrogate, the consensus would be that Arrogate was better than Gunrunner. And I'm making the point that Skip Away, pound for pound, being the horse of a lifetime, he would give Arrogate every ounce that he could handle when it was all said and done. That would be a tremendous race for the ages. But Skip Away, easily a length or 2 to the good. He was a natural, free-running, high-cruising speed horse that Gunrunner simply couldn't keep up with at 1.25 miles.
okay.
Randy, would you like to?
I understand
You
that.
gotta
Okay,
answer.
okay. So here's the thing: we're talking about perfect situation here, perfect weather, 1 race in their peaks. So I guess we got to go to this 2017 time, and let's just say it's December, because that might have been his best where he was, even though he didn't race at that time. But let's just say that. I think at that point.
So wait a minute, Randy. You're trying to change the calendar to December because that's
No. I'm saying that's what his peak was. That's what I'm just saying. Like the best time he was, we put him in this fantasy race. So like I would say like somewhere in between those two, the classic. I don't know. Maybe he was worse before he went to the thing. Let's just say his classic run when he went to the classic and held off horses. All of a sudden he looked like he could go to the lead and pull away. The only way he wins this race is he's got to go to the lead. So if you're asking me that, he's got to beat him to the turn and have that kick he had in the Classic to let Skip Away not go by. So I think answering AJ's question, I think that's the only way. If you're asking me to, like tactically, yeah, no. If Skip Away beats him in the turn, obviously he's done. So tactically, he's got to win.
Okay, so you obviously lose the argument because you're telling me that Gunrunner has one way to go. As far as I'm concerned, Skip Away won from all places and points in time. We also didn't bring up the fact of racetracks. So I'm looking at body of work for Gunrunner: Churchill, Keeneland, Fairgrounds, Oaklawn Park, Saratoga, Del Mar. You're like, hey, that's pretty good, right? Well, let's talk about Skip Away: Monmouth, Gulfstream, Keeneland, Thistledown, Monmouth, Belmont, Suffolk, Hollywood Park, Pimlico. I mean, what more do I have to tell you? This horse took his show on the road and capitalized.
Let's go to this because we need to keep going.
All right, yes.
We're going back and forth now.
Let's start round 3. AJ,
Okay.
you got the clock?
Oh yeah.
I think we already did round 3.
Yeah, no kidding. All right.
All right, ready?
I'm just gonna let this go until I feel like it should be stopped.
Okay,
All right.
I'm gonna go. Don't
This
do
has
it too
been
long, 'cause
this has
that's-
been my
too bad here.
favorite
Jeez,
2
AJ,
rounds we've done so far.
You're killing me here. Just watching me get kicked when I'm down. I
Yeah,
love
it's
it.
been great.
I know you love this. He loved it. Okay, so I'm gonna. Okay, so I'm
Anyway,
gonna start off.
so the Battle Royale. Go.
Okay, so Sarge, what I'm saying is this. I agree with you. I'll say this right away. I do agree with you that Skip Away, a better racehorse throughout the career. Absolutely. If we're talking one day, perfect weather, where Gunrunner was at that time, like the peak of Skip Away against the peak of Gunrunner. Yeah, Gunrunner's peak might have been really quick, and Skip Away's peak might have stayed the same for a long time. But what he showed me with those 4 straight grade 1s, I know they weren't the distance. And if we were arguing a mile and an eighth, Sarge, I know you would agree Gunrunner would have the advantage probably. But we're going a mile and a quarter, and that's the rules. And yes, I'm behind the 8 ball here with Gunrunner, but when he ran that time and what he did with these other horses and turned them away, and like I said, Skip Away was great, and his Classic looked great. At that time, in that moment, it looked like a horse that could go a mile and an eighth and win and turn away other horses.
You said a mile. Once again, you're going back to a mile and an eighth, okay? First of all, let's talk about Gunrunner when, and I'm going to give you more credit with Gunrunner because of the fact that he had 5 straight grade 1s to close out his career. But I want to go back to that Stephen Foster in June of 2017. I'm going to name some horses, and I hope AJ can bring it back a memory. AJ, tell me about Honorable Duty, Breaking Lucky, Hawacum, Texas Chrome, and Motom and Birdsong. Can you tell me anything? I'm listening. Hello? Listening.
Birdsong.
Hello?
It's your time to talk, not mine.
Go ahead, keep going.
I don't have to keep going. Bottom line is it's body work. And once again, you came back to the point that you're bringing up a mile and an eighth. We're talking about a mile and a quarter match race, horse of a lifetime Skip Away, horse of a year in Gunrunner. There's a whole different component when it comes down to horses that have been battle tested and Skip Away, the battles that he's had and throughout his career. You look at from October of 1997, which included a Breeders' Cup Classic victory, which included the Pimlico Special Grade 1, 5 straight Grade 1s. He went to the Mass Cap. He came out here to Hollywood Park to win the Grade 1 Hollywood Gold Cup, went back to Monmouth and won the Grade 2 Philip Island, and then he went back over to Belmont to win the Grade 1 Woodward. And he danced every single dance, whether it was Mike Smith, Jerry Bailey, Jose Santos, you name it. Even in fact, that's the other point. Rick Wilson won on this horse. Yeah, Rick Wilson.
I think he was in the Beach Boys.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Can we stop this,
Do you have a
please?
rebuttal?
Because I
No?
don't know. I have
No?
no rebuttal. I can't.
All right.
No rebuttal, so he's giving up.
Yeah.
Just submit. It's done. It's over. Skip Away. By a length and a half.
I buy a length and a half. All
I'm going to
right.
give you a little credit, Randy. You did good.
Thank you. No, I
Not
appreciate
good
that.
enough.
Judge's deliberation
You
here.
need to.
Well, we have to for the
We
show.
have to go back and forth.
It's unanimous.
Yes. So, well, I will say this. I really liked the gun runner argument here as I prepared for it myself, only because, it would take a perfect strategy to discredit Skip Away and have Gunrunner win, like a perfect strategy. And when we're talking about match races, I think you have to hound on, well, the numbers, time form wise, again, like I know Sarge discredited it pretty quick.
That's why I didn't even bring it up again.
But I'm saying is you have the winning percentage, career wise to go on as well. And then you also, and I mean, there's a couple different arguments to be made. I mean, Gunrunner did have the second largest victory in a grade 1 for older males like ever. So when you're talking about best day at a certain, in a match race, those are the things I would think you would have to rely on. But I mean, yeah, I think you were outgunned here.
Good one.
Sarge clearly won the first 2 rounds, whether it was the Q&A or the opening arguments. And then going into the last one, I thought you were starting to make a case, and then Sarge shut you down really fast.
Really fast, yeah.
Like I thought you did have
That's just because I started the argument.
You did have a couple decent points. I think the Asmussen versus Hines argument could have worked in your favor here.
Hines.
I think that could have worked in your favor a little bit here too, a little bit more than the other ones. But yeah, I think everywhere you went, Sarge kind of shut down pretty fast.
Yeah, I forgot to mention the fact also that Money Mike Smith, the one time he rode Skip Away, that was right here at Hollywood Park when he won the Breeders' Cup Classic in '97. But Skip Away, in his 18 victories, had 5 different riders on his back, including Shane Sellers. And obviously a horse that was relatively easy to ride. He put himself into the race, taking nothing away from Gunrunner and what he did. Florent Giroux, Ricardo Santana rode him early in his career. But, again, body of work, pound for pound. Sorry for the intervene there, but AJ, you're spot on.
No, and I think, an argument that can be made, and you tried to a little bit when you talked about Arrogant, is the fact that, Gunrunner was an incredible horse. It got overshadowed by the fact that Arrogant had one of the most incredible runs ever for most of his career. So the Arrogant argument was good. It was just like, well, Sarge also
maybe I shouldn't have put him against
They
formal
both had 2 very strong races in their careers that you could pinpoint. One being Gunrunner Arrogant in Dubai, and the other one being Skip Away and Cigar. I mean, those are 2 tough horses they were both going against, and you're right. We've stated several times that Arrogant race is one of the most impressive races probably in the history of horse racing. And then for Skip Away to take down Cigar to end his undefeated run he had going, I mean that was tough.
I'm gonna tell you why. Well, you guys did a
actually,
decision, and then
just to correct you real quick there, Sarah. That undefeated run actually got debunked
before that.
You go back
did it?
Race
the
before
Pack Classic. It was against Darren Go at Del Mar. However, if you remember that year, Cigar came back and he won the Woodward in handy fashion in September, so he was back on his game. I personally think Skip Away was the straw on the camel's back. Skip Away pretty much came back, gave him the knockout blow, and he came back to only race 1 time after that. So
yeah.
Did that loss to Skip Away make Cigar sterile?
It's like that.
Yeah, I mean that's again. What a horse though.
He's like,
I mean,
what do I need to go?
What a great
on?
horse! What a shame.
You talk about a horse of a lifetime. As I said, with a horse like Skip Away in the story of Sonny Hine, and what he's able to accomplish, throughout his career. This is what you dream of as an owner breeder. And when you look at, Carolyn and Sonny and their relationship, and then, you talk about Cigar, you talk about the late great Alan Paulson, a man that invested so much money. These 2 in itself were horses of a lifetime. Unfortunately, maybe because time as it stands today, it's like comparing the boxers of yesteryear. We used to make the Mike Tyson, Muhammad Ali comparison, which, some would argue that Mike Tyson would have beat him in 3 rounds. Potentially could have, but Ali was one of the greatest to rope-a-dope and prove that through and throughout his career. But I think when it comes to horses, the fact you classified an argument here and based on 1.25 miles in distance on a fair racetrack with 2 horses that have natural speed, it's a tremendous matchup. But, I personally think, and when you look at Skip Away, when you look at the fact that, at one point in his career, he toted 130 pounds in the mass cap, 130 pounds. He gave up 14 pounds to the runner-up in Puerto Madero. Where in gun runners' lines do you see 130 pounds? Never.
Yeah. That's our man of war argument
That's
Man
the
of
against
war,
Secretariat.
Yeah.
It means,
Well, I think-
to me, it means something. As a guy that's constantly trying to battle weight matters.
I've been carrying an extra 30 pounds since this whole thing happened with the
Since
pandemic.
COVID, yeah. So bad. No, so Sarah, let's make our decision. I think again, this is a match race at a mile and a quarter,
Mhm.
and Sarge brought up the one big point that stood out to me: 6 for 11 at a mile and a quarter versus
That was my
1
point,
for
too.
4.
Yep.
That to me, I mean, out of all the points that have been made, all great points have been made, but you're right. This is a match race. This is a mile and a quarter, and Skip Away clearly at that distance. It's hard to argue the way. So I think Skip Away is the winner here. I don't know about you.
And I could not disagree. It's Skip
Hoorah.
Away is the winner of this
All right.
match.
Listen,
race.
okay, so okay, I accept that defeat because he actually and let me just say, when I went to it, that was the big first thing I said. I said I kind of want to give Sarge this at a mile and an eighth because I think this would be a better conversation.
Oh, come on, Randy.
I did, but I didn't
Randy.
do that, Sarge. I didn't do that. to you.
I will say this.
If we even go back to Skip Away and we talk about him at a mile and an eighth, you're going to end up getting the same. Can I tell you what Skip Away's record was at a mile and an eighth? Are you ready?
Well, it's the
I'm
rest
ready.
of it.
Are you ready?
Yeah.
Ready?
9 for 14. I mean,
That's not bad.
Yeah.
yeah.
I was going to ask. Here's my
3.7
curious
million
point.
meant something. If you go back and look at a career that spanned between June of 95, November of 98, Skip Away earned 9.6 million in 18 wins, rattling off eight straight races where he won multiple grade one. I mean, he likely would have won 20 million in this day and age.
Yeah. Well, I was trying to look for it. And I also, when you brought up the cigar thing, when I tried to put better horses against them with Arrogate and everything, and I was hoping for some reason Sarge would forget about cigar and Formal Gold. If I have to bring up Formal Gold,
You were hoping
mean-
I was going to forget about cigar? I mean, come on.
no, I know. I was going to try to go on the
Who
Formal
forgets about
Gold
cigar?
route.
Well, I mean, as the underdog, you got to hope that the favorite,
He hopes. He's
Yeah.
a hopeful
Somewhere.
I
guy.
had to
Look
hope.
at him.
I had
He's
to
hoping,
hope.
but
Yeah,
you
I
don't
hope you
never
drop your
know.
guard. You
That's
gotta
all
drop
he
that
can
left
do.
Pull
hand.
Santa's sleigh.
You gotta
Maybe he
dr-
wants me to be Santa Claus, and I'll let him pull my sleigh.
I'm hoping you drop that left hand for a second. You know, I mean, you gotta hope for things
It happens
sometimes.
to the best. You never know.
Yep. But
no,
this was
but-
quite the matchup we had.
Yeah, no, but I have to say, like that
Right.
really was like I knew that.
Had-
I want to ask Sarge a question like right now though. Who do you think has the lead on the turn in that race?
First turn or last turn?
First turn.
Personally, I think Skip Away.
I was gonna say, I think it'd be
you need
very
to go
close.
back. You need to go back and watch some YouTube replays and just he was a big strapping horse, but man, did he have a high cruising speed. And it's funny when you talk to people about their favorite horses of all time. And I had this conversation on the quarters with Caleb. I'm a huge Spectacular Bid fan. I am a huge John Henry fan, and you might ask me on a Monday, and I'll tell you John Henry. On Sunday, I'll tell you Spectacular Bid. But it just the fact that Skip Away was able to do what he did, he made the race. And I'm not taking anything away from Gunrunner, who had an incredible career from September of 2015 to January of 2018, and I'm not taking anything away from Gunrunner.
No,
but I am
not.
going to take away from an argument against Skip Away. I think you really need to go back. Randy, Sarah, AJ, go to YouTube, pull up Skip Away, and appreciate what this horse did.
Okay, so that was it. Sarge, giving it to me. Skip Away against Gunrunner. I tried my best, guys. There.
You can't see
even
me.
through the- I can't.
You
see
can't
you, Sarge.
see.
I can't see you.
Randy, get
that
some
was
rest.
fantastic.
Love it.
Sleep well, my friend. Sleep well.
Absolutely. So we'll see you later, everybody.
Triple Clowns is a production of the team at Big Umbrella. Rate and review our podcast on Apple Podcasts. Send us your questions at tripleclowns@gmail.com and you may be featured on a future episode. Follow us on social media at ClownsTriple on Twitter and Instagram, and follow me, AJ Ryder, at Troy McClain WWE on Twitter. Like and subscribe to our show on YouTube, Apple Podcasts, or wherever fine podcasts are downloaded. All right, guys, for AJ Ryder, I'm out of here. See you later, everybody.